What is white nationalism and what is black nationalism? And how are they different? Short answer is, they aren't. Many of us already know that white nationalism is where someone of European descent believes that their race is perhaps superior to that of other races, and or they believe in having a white nation, having a solely white nation. Now, the ethics of this can depend on the type of nation you're in. For example, a place like the United States, white nationalism isn't probably a so great thing considering the fact that we have millions of people who aren't of European descent. Only around 60.1% of the US population is non-Hispanic white. And if we include the Hispanic population, it's around 76.3%. And as cringy as this might sound, a country like the United States has been diverse since its inception. In the 1780s, the US white population was around 79.3%. The highest amount that the white population ever made was 89.8%, and that was in the 1930s and 40s. So the US has been always a very diverse country. Now, the term the white race is actually quite new within human history. Heck, even in the 19 and 1800s within the US history, other European demographics were considered either non-white or a lesser white. Italians were not considered very highly of, and the Irish were also looked down upon. The US is made up of a multitude of different demographics, even from Europe. The US has always been diverse. So in the United States, if a group wanted to make the US a supposed white nation, that's kind of goes against what the US was since its inception. But a nation like, let's say, Germany, France, or Great Britain, there's some understanding why those groups might want to keep their nations their specific demographic, like why the French may want to be French only, while the Germans might want to be German only, why Great Britain might want to be the Brits only, and even more specifically within Great Britain there might be England might want to stay English, and while Scotland might want to stay Scottish, and Ireland may want to stay Ireland. It could be argued that it's okay for those nations to have their specific demographics stay the majority and even perhaps the vast majority of that nation. But a country like the United States, that's not really a good argument there because, as I said, the US has always been a very diverse nation, not only of different supposed races, but also different demographics, different nationalities, ethnicities within those races. So that's the sort of ethics side with ethno-nationalism. Now, that's not to say that I'm pushing for more brown people to be coming into the United States. Not what I'm saying at all. All I'm saying is that for the United States, demographics really do not matter, at least when it comes to things like ethnicity and race. But that's for a different video. Now, how is black nationalism like white nationalism? White nationalists say they want to preserve their white culture, their white race. Black nationalists say they want to preserve their black culture, their black race. Really pretty much the same there. Both groups want to have their distinct power over a nation. Both groups want to preserve what they believe is their culture and be empowered to preserve that culture. Now, some of this of wanting to attain power could be through trying to change the United States, or it might just be as benign as something to moving to Africa. The kind of black nationalists who just want to move to Africa, there's really nothing wrong there. Heck, if they want to move to Africa so bad, I'll pack their bags for them and pay for their plane ticket. Because if you despise America so much, then good riddance. And that's not just to Africans I would say that. I would say that to also Europeans or Americans who are of European descent. Say they want to move back to, say, France, Germany, Great Britain, whatever it be. Would say the exact same thing. If you despise America so much for what it is, what it stands for, what its culture is, then please leave. We'll help you pack. We'll pay for your plane ticket. We'll even help you get settled there. Now, the kind of black nationalism that is not okay, like that of a white nationalist, would be the kind that wants an ethno-state of a black nation in the United States. They want to oppress other racial groups, most specifically whites. This kind of black nationalism either wants their own ethno-state or they want to have more power over, as I was saying, other races. They'll call for reparations, quotas, and segregation in some cases. Specifically, they want segregation from white people. Like they will say, white people are not allowed in this specific area. They're part of the reason why we have this whole anti-white movement in the United States. I'll list my video, Racism in America, for that. They will go into the fact that that America is systemically evil and all of these things. And they will say it's because of white people, and for that, white people must be punished. White people must feel hardship. So in the end, there really isn't much difference between white nationalism and black nationalism. They are virtually the same kind of thing. They're both forms of ethno-nationalism, and they both can be very racist and very immoral. That's it for this video. If you liked it, please give it a like, subscribe, share it, comment down below, and tell me what you thought. Follow me on all my social media like Twitter and Parler if you want to see my views outside of YouTube. And also, if you are interested in following me on an alternative to YouTube, follow me on BitChute. I have a BitChute channel. It's still really small. I only have barely over 100. So please go follow me there if for whatever reason my YouTube disappears. And if you really like my content, consider donating to my Patreon or to my Ko-fi. Do all that, and I'll see y'all later.